Hello everyone, it's Leo and it's time to talk about episode 50 from wonderful Precure. What a wonderful ending we had. Oh my god. This episode was very sweet and I was expecting to cry, bawl my eyes out, and I actually didn't. I feel like this was very real. I mean, at least the part from the main characters, it was very real, very grounded, and I really loved it. So let's talk about it. I just want to start saying that Niko Sama is a legend. Girl, I know that someone might look at her actions and say, honey. But I loved it. I love this character so much. So let's go into it. So we start the episode with Gao and Subaru finally meeting, and that meeting gave us a super emotional scene. And I really liked it. I feel like the reunion, both of their reunions, it was something that they were both needing. It was very touching. And I really liked Subaru crying and saying he's sorry because he blames himself. We saw that last week. It was very tough on our hearts. And it was very nice to see Gao's side finally. And I love Gao's voice. And another thing that I really like is that all of the guilt that Subaru felt made him kind of unable to communicate with Gao, which was when we had Wonderful dropping in and helping their communication. And one thing I really liked when Wonderful was talking about Gao, that like Gao can finally talk to him directly, but he was already talking to him this whole time, which was the voices of the Garu-Garus and the Gao-Gaons. I was not expecting that at all, and it was so good because Gao was in pain by seeing what Subaru was doing. And ultimately, I think Subaru's actions were good because they were able to make him meet Gao again and finally talk to Gao. So at the end of the day, it was good. And if it wasn't for Subaru and for Subaru's feelings and for Subaru's anger, Wonderful Precure wouldn't have happened. So, anger has its values. But the way that Gao didn't feel any anger or resentment towards the humans, that's where it got me, kind of. But he did say he had his reservations, and I feel like enough time has passed. And now that we discovered that the birth of Animal Town was because of their friendship, I feel like that can make Gao understand that not all humans are like that. But if I were Gao, girl, I would be pissed. I would be joining Subaru. Oh, the humans now are good. Girl, your ancestors killed me. And now I'm gonna kill you. No, I'm joking. But it's understandable. I feel like I would have liked to see a little bit more anger. And I feel like when we see Nyami and Lillian joining in and talking to Zakuro and saying like, anger and this type of feeling will not bring you anything good. I agree. I feel like obviously life in general is way more complex than that. And I feel like anger will accomplish important things in life for anyone because we need that in ourselves. But in the context of that scene from Wonderful, I feel like it works. And that scene of Wonderful hugging both Subaru and Gao, it's awesome. I feel so happy that we have a character like Komugi as our lead in this season. Her heart is so pure. It's just like a dog. I mean, she is a dog. So her heart is pure and innocent, and she only sees the good in people and in animals. So it's so pretty, and that's definitely what they needed. So, and after that, when they wanted to have more time together, the power of the diamond was not enough to withstand their existence any longer. But then all the cures hugged them and gave them the power for them to stay together a little bit longer. And that's when Gao was finally able to tell Subaru that he loved him, and Subaru said he loved him back. Such a beautiful relationship between those two individuals, that animal, that wolf, and that human. I Girl, I loved it so much. And Sakura was also able to join in. She was able to jump in and also tell Subaru that she loved him. Finally, she was able to do it. I don't know if the message was conveyed because, that type of love that she said, it can be a different type of love. Like, I love you like a brother. I love you like the leader of our pack. But we know that her love for him was a little different. I feel like it was enough for her. She was happy enough with that. And Lillian was very happy. She was crying tears of joy because she did everything she could to bring that moment to Sakura, and that moment finally came. And then they left after finally discovering the meaning of the word wonderful. And I love the hugging scene that Niko Sama is like, girl, I love you, but I'm not gonna touch you. I'm the queen. I'm just gonna be here with my arms open. And then they learned the word wonderful. Gao learned this word, and they all were feeling wonderful, and then they went away. I love that scene because it changed a little bit the type of animation, the type of coloring in that scene was really pretty, and it really matched the feeling of a fairy tale and a goodbye as well. It felt really artistic. I found it incredible. The Gao and Subaru story. It was a very beautiful one, in my opinion. I wanted more. I'm not gonna lie. I wanted to see more of their relationship, of the pack. Even though we have lots of shots, that left me wanting more. Just like Niko's story that I want to talk about right now. So after that, we have our goodbye. We have them all happy because they fulfilled what they wanted to fulfill. Iroha fulfilled the fact that she wanted to befriend the wolves. She did it. Komugi made it dawn on her that she actually did what she really wanted. And they were all happy for this journey that they've been through together. But Niko-sama knew that it was time for goodbye. The Niko Garden and the human world, they were never supposed to be intertwined. They just did it because of what Gaul did, and at the end of the day, it was a good thing, but it was never supposed to be like that. And so the separation it was time for the separation to come. Niko-sama returned the mirror stone to its origins, and here is the place that I wanted a little more. We have a story from the mirror stone, and I wanted to understand more of what happened to the mirror stone in the past, because the story that we heard is from Iroha's parents, and I feel like we don't really know if that is the actual story or if there's something more to it. I feel like now we can say that that is what actually happened, and there wasn't a connection between this story and Gaol's story. Those are two separate stories, but I wanted to hear more from Niko. I wanted to know more about the creation of Niko Garden, how it came to be, and where Niko comes from. Even though those things are not really answered, but Niko is the creator of Niko Garden, and I wanted to hear more of the origins, and I maybe see a little bit more of the origins. But I really like Niko as a character because even though she is always smiling, she's always storing power, whenever it is time for her to be serious and a true leader, she really is. So the worlds have to be apart, and because if you think about it, she is securing a happy and fulfilling life for the animals in Niko Garden. If you put humans in the mix, things can get weird. In Animal Town, not so much, but in the rest of the world, we don't really know. And if it is in our world, baby, people would want to go to Niko Garden to explore that land. We know that is true. And so she's real. She is like, it is what it is. You want to cry, you can cry. But the reality is, human world is the human world. Our world is our world. And so she says goodbye. She turns into a beautiful unicorn girl. She's laced so much. And the hair, all that hair and all that glory. She gets the powers back because they come from the Niko Diamond together with the Mirror Stone. I mean, the Mirror Stone granted them the power, but it came from Niko Diamond. And she goes back to Niko Garden together with Mei Mei. A beautiful rainbow road to Niko Garden. Do you play Mario Kart? And she goes back. That's it. And it's tough because she didn't really leave a space for Komugi and Iroha to kind of say goodbye to each other, and same for the others. Because after she goes away, whenever Iroha looks at her side, Komugi is not there anymore. She has to look down because the animals are now regular animals. And it was really cute. We had Daifuku saying goodbye to Mei Mei. That was a cute scene as well. It's nice that we had Daifuku in this episode as an actual character. I loved it. And so we start the second part of the episode by the reality of no longer Precure. Now they have to deal with it. And they try to move on with their lives. Komugi is now a regular dog. And she understands that Iroha has to go to school. Iroha says goodbye to her normally. And Iroha is trying to deal with it. She's trying to live her life. And she is happy. But sometimes she thinks about Komugi. When she's walking with Komugi before going to school, when Komugi is celebrating, she remembers human Komugi by her side. When she sees the mirror stone, she wants to make a wish. When she is talking about her experience, she gets sad. And when they get to the school, we have one of the best realizations of the season to me, which is Animal Town was founded because of the diary between Gao and Subaru. And when I said earlier in the video that I believe that I would like to see Gao with a little bit more anger, I feel like his anger was quelled because of this. Their relationship wasn't for nothing. Their friendship and their story, they were not there for nothing. They gave birth, that friendship gave birth to a very beautiful land, which is Animal Town, a place in which animals and humans live happy. And that place exists as it is because people read that diary years and years and years ago, and they understood that friendship, and animals and humans started to try and understand each other. Humans tried to understand animals more because the animals can't read, but the humans tried. And so what happened before with the wolves wouldn't happen anymore, at least in that place, because people were inspired by that book. And I like that when they go to school, it's Iroha's point of view, and when they come back, it's Mayu's point of view. Mayu comes in, and she sees Yuki, and when Yuki meows, she remembers human Yuki talking to her. Very beautiful scene as well. And then when she gets inside, we see Mayu's mom doing the Cure Idol pose, heart pose. And I was very surprised. I thought that was going to be Uta. And then it wasn't. It was actually a reference to Human Idol Precure that is starting next week, and I'm very hyped. And let me just say, this is the best, by far, the best inclusion of the next season in the current one. By far. I love it. I loved when Cure Grace appeared in Star Twinkle in the middle of a dream, but this one takes the cake because they were able to introduce Cure Idol in such a natural scenario. She's just an idol, and they are watching her in the cell phone. They're just watching her performance. We can hear a little bit of her song. We can see the performance. Girl, the song is so cool. We can't properly hear it, but we can hear it in the background, and I already love it. I love the visuals. I love everything. And then Girl, Yuki was my favorite character from this season. Right now, she is not anymore because she paused Cure Idol's video. Yuki, you are now the villain. I'm joking. Obviously, Yuki is my favorite. It's the only time I will not defend her because I defend her in every action she made throughout the whole season. But this one I won't. And she wanted attention from Mayu. She is the one that has to get attention every time. And now let's talk about the fact that the animals, they lost their ability to talk. And look, the relationship between humans and animals, it is done through different types of communication. We can communicate in one way and animals can communicate in their own ways. And obviously, Komugi and Iroha's bond, it's already there, even if Komugi does not talk. But after they have shared a whole year of adventures and a direct communication through human language, going back to the previous way of communicating is clearly not the same thing. And it was obvious that Iroha would be feeling sad, that Mayu would be feeling sad, that Satoru would be feeling sad, even though Satoru, I mean, he communicated with Daifuku just a little bit. But for Iroha, it is so understandable, that feeling that she was having, the sadness that overcame her in specific moments of the day. You know, it's not every time. You can move on with your life. You can do it. But you have to deal with the reality, and sometimes the reality is tough. Sometimes the reality is not easy. And then she was crying, and it is so understandable because it's clearly not the same. But then when she was crying and Komugi noticed, she ran through Iroha. And I thought, okay, that's just to show that Komugi is paying attention to everything. Doesn't matter that they cannot communicate directly anymore. Their feelings are connected. It wasn't the case. The feelings are so strong that the Mirror Stone granted their wish to communicate once again. And they were able to be talking once more. When Komugi said, Inoha, girl, the emotion was overflowing. I did not cry because I felt like this episode was very real and it did not really try to play with our emotions that much. I feel like it was like really good in this aspect. It did not try to be melodramatic for no reason. And at that moment, girl, it was so good, so beautiful. And then we have a scene, like the other animals are also able to communicate. And then we have a scene in Niko Garden. And now I don't know what to believe. Please tell me in the comments what you believe. We have that moment in Niko Garden that Niko Sama is talking to the Kidding Rabbit. By the way, she is the voice actor from Cure Idol. So she's going to be our main Cure next season. And they're talking, they're chatting, and then they're like, were you the one who allowed that? The Kidding Rabbit asked. And she was like, no. Their power is so strong that the Mirror Stone granted this wish for them. But then we have Meimei coming back. And Meimei was allowed by Niko Sama to visit sometimes when he was, when he wanted. Not that much, but when he wanted, he could visit. And now I wonder, I believe, my theory is that Niko Sama was the one who, gave it a little push to help them recommunicate. I believe it was Niko Sama, even though she did not want to say it. Because she was very tough in that goodbye. She was very tough. And I love it because, she, at least to me, she's trying to do things in a roundabout way to not break the rules that much, but to not leave them without that bond that was so strengthened by the human language. So I feel like that was also Niko's play. I believe so. And I love that. And they were all able to communicate in the end. We haven't seen if they're able to revert back to humans, but doesn't seem like it. It seems that they're only animals, but they are able to communicate. And obviously, if they need to come back to a future All-Stars or something, they are going to become humans again, no problem. And then the episode ended with a very lovely song and the credits were rolling, we could see them, going around in Animal Town, having a good time. Very, very, very cute ending. I found it super, super adorable. And what a journey. What a great journey. What a wonderful journey Wonderful has been. I feel like this season was a huge surprise. And the narrative and the story, the way the story was told, the characters, their development, the connection between them, it is truly, truly incredible. Truly wonderful. And we have the baton pass between Cure Wonderful and Cure Idol with a lovely scene. Girl, Idol on stage and the lights come on her. Girl, what a beautiful moment. And Purirun is very cute as well. And Wonderful gives a ribbon to Idol at the end. And that special ribbon, you can get that in the transformation device. There is one package of the transformation device that comes with the transformation device, the ribbon for the 3 cures, and the ribbon for Wonderful as well. That's very cool. So that is an actual toy. And a beautiful baton pass as well. And I am very excited for next week. We start a new journey with new friends. But I'm also very thankful for Wonderful, and I'm very thankful to everyone who watched my wonderful videos, my wonderful reviews. Even when we disagreed, I feel like there's a lot. There was always a lot to talk about. Wonderful was a very rich season, and I really loved talking about it here at Magical Cinnamon. So if you watched my wonderful impression videos, I am very, very thankful. Thank you for a wonderful journey together with me. And we start another one next week, our Idol journey. We're going to perform. I cannot wait for the next season as well. That's what's good about Precure. We're sad that we're saying goodbye to our friends, but we are receiving new friends. We're getting new friends right in the next week. Oh my God. Anyways, babies, this is it for now. Thank you so much for this wonderful journey, and we'll see each other next week. And I have to say thank you to the members of the Magical Cinnamon channel. If you're a member, thank you very much for your support, and if you've watched up until now, thank you so much as well. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye bye.